I like big books and I cannot lie. I'm way too white to rap this. Hello literary geeks, happy Tuesday. When you see a book that is more than an inch thick, you're like, ah, that's really intimidating, I don't want to do it. And I felt that way with our last book club pick, which was Lumen. Like, Lumen is a monster of a book, but this took me 2 days to read because of the format and because of how interesting and intense it was. So I wanted to go over a list of 6 books, because I can't just have one hand up, apparently I need to bring the other one in all the time, of some big books that you are going to love. And for the sake of keeping this video short, I did not add any final books just because you gotta read the whole thing to get those, so I'm just giving first and standalone. Well, the first of which is Lumen by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, which is an epic sci-fi AI space zombie adventure. It's such an intense and impactful book that you really just go through it, and it's not written as regular script, it's written as files and chat logs and art, and oh, it's such a cool idea! You're gonna love it if you haven't read it, I swear. Another large book I just realized we've also done a book club on is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. If you do not know, Rainbow Rowell wrote a book called Fangirl, where a girl named Kath who writes fanfiction, and this is the fanfiction she wrote. So I would recommend reading Fangirl first, understanding what's going on, and then reading this, because people that don't and just went into this are like, what the hell is going on? I mean, Kath writes a lot, obviously. Like, this is a good inch and a half thick, and this took me a while to get through, to be honest. It's basically like a Harry Potter knockoff type fanfiction that she writes, so it's a really interesting twist on a magical world that we kind of already know. Coming up is a good fall read, so if you haven't read this yet, time to dig in, and that is The Diviners by Libba Bray, which is honkin' ridiculous. This is like 1920s New York with like ghosts and serial killers and, oh man, whew, excitement. Definitely a plotline that I have never seen before, and loved the whole like occult powers and paranormal stuff that goes on in this, so I would highly recommend it, especially after Halloween and you're having a little bit of a deprivation of scary. You want to go with this. I know I said at the beginning of this video I wouldn't add any final books, but this one kind of is like a continuation, but also the first of a series, and that is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare, because whoa. Lady Midnight is the start of a new series in Cassandra Clare's works. It's in the same Shadowhunter world, but takes place with other characters after the events of the City of Bones series. So you can read it just by itself. There's a lot of mentions of what happened in the final series if you don't want to read all of them. And this, again, I think this took me like 2 or 3 days just because I was powerhousing through it because I was so excited. And oh my god, this book was so fantastic. Next up is not technically a YA book, but it's just one of my favorite fantasy novels ever, and that is Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson, which has a lovely shiny cover and is not quite as big as all the other books. It has near to 500 pages. You do have magic in this world, you got some queens coming into play, and an evil queen, and some demons, and battles clashing, and blah, just great. And lastly, this one is not as big as the other ones, but just when you look at it, it looks like an intimidating book because all the pages are black. Can you guess which one it is? You're right, it's Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Just when you see this, it's such a tall book that you're like, huh, oh my god, that's very intimidating. Plus it's black pages, so it's like, huh, tough. It is kind of long, but it is so freaking worth it. Love this world, love the writing, love the characters, everything about this is just wonderful. And there you are, my pretties. You have a bunch of big books to keep you occupied in the winter months when there's not a lot coming out until January. Like, everything's coming out in January. I need some stuff now. Our first write-in for NaNoWriMo happens on Sunday, so be there or be square. Happy writing, and hopefully I shall be writing with you on Sunday. Bye!